Hi. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I need to preface this entire show, first of all, by saying I'm very emotionally affected right now by the information that have found out and that I have to tell you guys. So much so that I've been so balls deep in investigating this shit for the last couple weeks that I was just so busy investigating all this shit that it didn't even have time to hit me. And I'm low key. I'm pretty sure I'm an empath, and it all just came crashing fucking down on me when I got home today. So had a little bit of a panic attack. So I'm going to try to take this as slow as possible. If there are moments where I feel like a little flustered or like I just need a moment, forgive me. I want everyone to know that what we're going to be talking about tonight is very, very serious, very, very heavy, and I'm gonna give as little personal details about everything I talk about, because no one can really know where any of this is coming from, for obvious reasons, but for also the reasons that I believe Carroll County is a very, very dangerous county. I am now firmly convinced that they have allegedly, possibly a huge crime syndicate going on within this county. Maybe allegedly. That's just in my theory from my time investigating Richard Allen's case and everything going on in Florida, and this county is not to be played with. I don't doubt that they're not going to find out about this and be very upset. I don't know. I think I'm in a dangerous territory right now, so I have to be as careful as possible. And I want everyone to know that everything is coming from an alleged person, alleged victim, right? So it's all alleged. None of this is 100% confirmed, except for what I have in the case files I received today. Okay, so let me be very clear. The only thing that I can confirm as being 100% true is what is in trial case file records. Everything else is hearsay, stories, whatever you want to call it, however you want to put it, okay? So just have to be very, very careful. Keith is kind of blind reacting with everyone tonight too. I've been telling him some of the information I've been finding and stuff, obviously, because he's bestie. But he's kind of going into this blind too. So he's going to be kind of reacting to everything as well. If I'm shaking, it's just because my anxiety and shit. So sorry, guys. Oh, by the way, I wanted to introduce you guys to my cleavage. This is for Kathy Clandering, or Clandering. I don't know how you say it.
I believe the correct pronunciation is Clandenning.
Ah, Hi, Boo. You're probably watching because I know you're a fan. I did these for you. Since earlier you wanted to message me on Facebook and tell me that I'm a big old drinking slut who should just keep showing my tits off.
And I'm having a nice whiskey sour for her tonight too, because again, I'm an alcoholic. So, you know, that's just an insult people say to me when they can't hang. And that's fine. It's fine. But hey, I just wanted to say, like, yeah, it's really deep stuff. I was in Kara's chat. I was kind of lurking with Oksana. And Skinny was in there, Skin Row, and he said, you can smell the sadness in Delphi. And it's true. It's true. Especially around this time of year, of course, pretty much everywhere in the Midwest. But it's just, it's a pretty town, but it's just sad. So just something to, you know, keep in mind here. We're talking about a sad environment and a very sad, you know, it's the 9-year anniversary of a very sad thing that happened, a terrible thing that happened. And it's no shock that there are terrible people surrounding this whole thing, right? I haven't even seen everything that you have, and I just, even some of the few things I looked at, I couldn't believe what I was looking at, you know. And you know, I'm just on a quick light note too. The good news is in about an hour, Rick Allen's going to be freed. I heard. So Rick Allen is going to be freed in an hour, guys.
In an hour.
They got it, and we're about to see. So, you know, as we're going through this, just look on the bright side. You know, we heard, I was going through my filing cabinet today. I found some things. I heard some other people going through a filing cabinet. They found some things. Some people are talking more and more and more. And today's the day he's going to be freed. So,
oh my God,
poetic, you know.
I don't think everyone knows what you're talking about. So some people
That's okay.
are like, "What? Wait, what?"
That's okay. We're not gonna explain our inside joke if you don't know. We're gonna leave that to us.
I don't want to get everyone's hope up. That Rick Allen's he's not actually getting out, guys. Not right now, anyway.
Right. I was speaking figuratively there.
Yeah. He will.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good accountability partner there. So
yeah, right. Allegedly.
Nova said he found the tip. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I just wanted to add that kind of as my 2 cents there. So.
Hey, Keith, I think you can, if you open the chat, can you see the chat in the restream? I think you can control and pin stuff. Can you? Can you look?
I don't think I could feature a chat like on the screen.
But you can't, when you look at the chat, you can't click an individual comment when you're in the restream window. Yeah,
like I'm in the restream. I have the chat popped open. I'm clicking on it, but it's not doing anything. Maybe I'm boomer.
No, you're not. I am. It's always the issue. It's always me. All right. Well, whatever. No. I'll figure it out. Okay. So, thank you for mentioning the anniversary.
Yeah.
Today, aside from all the horribleness, well, in addition to the horribleness, I suppose, today is the anniversary of the day that Abby and Libby were kidnapped from the Monon High Bridge. And that's really important that we always remember those girls. I wanted to pull up some pictures of them for a little bit before we get into all the heavy shit, because sometimes you just don't need that. Whew. After our show, we are going to be Well, if someone in the chat, if one of my mods could link Carrie's show coming up with criminality in a couple hours after our show, we're going to be ending promptly, so you guys can go over there and watch their show. That'll be awesome.
Some good stuff from Carrie.
Indeed. There we go. I just want to look at some pictures, but they're not really working for me that well. I found like a bunch of pictures I hadn't seen before. There we go.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one with Anna.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Abby and Anna. Oh, thank you so much for linking that, guys. Thank you. I need to pin that to chat. God, I am like the worst multitaskers. I am medicated for my ADHD now, yay. But I like took my medication today and I forgot to eat, and I had also taken like my Zoloft. I puked it all right up.
No, I was gonna joke about it like being delayed release and it'll kick in a second. So.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see. Let me pin this. There we go.
I love Adderall. I can't get prescribed it, but I love it.
I am on Concerta, which is like the Ritalin one, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I have an appointment with my doctor next week though, and I'm gonna switch to Vyvanse. Yeah, shout out Vyvanse. Guys, we're gonna also take breaks in between to like be lighthearted because it's some shit. All right, back to This is really failing. Does that work? There we go.
Seen that one.
I low-key I went to Google Images and just searched them.
Yeah.
And found like all these good stills from like 48 hours and stuff where they're like together. I love this picture of Libby so much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Love.
I don't know if she did softball. I thought they didn't they do volleyball? They swam, but I forgot what other sports they did. I'm sure they did a ton.
I'm sure. Hey Travis, I'll have to check into that one. I haven't heard of it.
Travis is saying there's a case here in Texas, jury trial. Have got to get the lowdown to Spugs.
Thank you.
We're good.
Keith is coaching me on reading your guys'
I'm supporting.
Told you guys, bestie. I had never seen this one of Abby.
Yeah, I haven't either.
It's cute. There we go. There we go. I hadn't seen this one. She looks so cute there.
Mm-hmm.
Love this one.
Yeah.
So cute. There's a memorial. You don't know that one. Oh, God, she's so cute. They're like twins.
She's got a ton of pictures with Anna.
So many. They were close. That was that's her baby.
Right.
Did I get through them? Okay. So I just wanted to take a moment to just remember the girls and look at some pictures, because we're all here because of them, right?
Yep.
You free Rick Allen, you hopefully find the real killers.
Yeah. I think, it's funny. He had the picture of the people at the bridge. Like, I think they were setting down flowers by the little like memorial thing that they had. I always thought, like, I would see that on TV and I'm like, what do people get out of that? And then I went and visited, and like, there was like a lone bouquet there. This was like in December. It was like one of the times, like, actually seeing that in person, getting emotional. Like, it really kind of hits you that like something really terrible happened there.
It's like when we saw the video for the first time, right?
Yeah.
That was chilling. It was haunting. It was It made them so real.
Yep. And shout out to those who got us a video, because it could be today right now and the state still wasn't going to get it to us. So
yeah. Hold on. I gotta do this again. Here we go. All right, guys. So before we get everything, I just want to again say I'm trying to be so careful with this topic. It's so sensitive. It's so important. And by no means do I want to ever offend or say anything out of line that could ever do any harm to any victim of abuse. So I just want to watch a couple videos first.
Did you know that in the United States, approximately 25% of adult women were sexually abused as children? And that's just in the US. Women from all cultures, countries, and walks of life have experienced sexual abuse as children. Many of these women, survivors of childhood sexual abuse, know too well the impacts that are inherent to this type of trauma. Triggers, anxiety, trust issues, substance abuse, difficulty sleeping, and other day-to-day challenges that can be disruptive and persistent. The childhood sexual abuse you experienced may cause you to feel invisible, ashamed, or stuck. It's a challenge to heal the hurt that comes from trauma, but with the right information and the right strategies, it is possible to experience healing. Our experienced team of professionals has spent years developing and refining our programs and services with one goal in mind: helping you. We want to empower you with education, tools, and practices to decrease the trauma-related symptoms you may experience. We hope to help you increase your feelings of well-being and to nurture the idea that you can live a life that is closer to what you'd like it to be. We're excited you've chosen to explore our
91% of perpetrators are known to their victim. So talk about, yes, discomfort, honoring that, but really equally trying to shift that a little bit to it's complicated, it's complex. But I think sort of what I sort of initially said on these, when we were introducing ourselves, these types of conversations are integral, right? To have them, to open this conversation up, to alleviate the feelings of discomfort and shame. And I think that, CSA thrives in secrecy, in isolation. How do we combat that? Right? And I think it's more, and it's been alluded to, right? It's more conversations like this. If 91% of perpetrators are known to the victims, usually this means, not in all cases, I don't want to discount experiences later in life happening, but there is a commonality with it happening at a young age and with the known person.
Behavior changes, and parents might just be like, oh, something's gotten into my kid. when in reality there's something completely underlying that, which sometimes is that abuse. Can you share a bit of these like signs and behaviors of children who may have been assaulted or exposed to CSA?
For sure. It's such a good question. And I almost sort of think of that twofold. On the one hand, it's like maybe the way in which it will manifest itself or present itself in childhood, and then maybe what that looks like later on. So maybe sort of teenage years, adolescent years. And that's not to create a distinction between, right? So there can be pieces that might be found in both. But I think in younger ages, it could be things like night terrors, nightmares, bedwetting, thumb sucking, or the needing of comforts. Like I'm thinking about blankies, like stuffies, like really like close. Real worries about like fear-based worries around people hiding, right? Closets under the bed, not really being able to feel safe. There could be more clingy based behaviors, these types of things. And then, you know, sort of shifting into these older years, you know, not to say some of those wouldn't be present, but it might look like self-harm. And for the case of this discussion, it could be changes in eating behaviors, controlling eating. It could be self-harm. It could be things like picking or those types of behaviors, like harm to self, suicide attempts. It could be substance use, you know, the numbing, the sort of escapism.
And you mentioned it's a small town of.
That's coming up next. So, right up here in the corner, you will see the hotline for the National Sexual Assault Hotline. It's 1-800-656-HOPE. You can also go online at online.rainn.org and find resources there. I love this question, critical post that said, okay, so I'm wondering how many of us believe Alan is innocent, have trauma, PTSD, CSA victims, etc. I feel like that trauma gives us a different perspective on things. I absolutely agree with this. I've always told everyone, like, the way I choose my friends is like, if you have the more trauma, the better, like, because I think it just gives us the most amazing personalities, right? Like, God. That being said, I personally, when I was a little girl, my best friend, her father I had been staying the night over there all the time for a couple of years, and then one summer vacation I was over there and I fell asleep, and he did this weird thing where he, like, trigger warning, guys, okay, we're talking about a lot of CSA tonight, okay, so just again, trigger warning. So he was like grazing my side boob, like over my t-shirt, and I was like 9 years old and I was fake asleep. And it was so odd to me. And I remember like getting up and going home early that night. And then the next time I was like asleep in a room full of other kids, and like all of a sudden he's like rubbing my legs up and down. That was the extent of my experience. And I ended up, trying to have a hard conversation with my friend about it. And that was I don't know what I was thinking at 9 years old, trying to have that conversation with my best friend about, whatever. So I lost my best friend for a while. But unfortunately, he was making her sister a victim as well. And it was much more intense. than anything that I had ever experienced. So we ended up mending fences, and she was my best friend for most of my life. But I just wanted to share that. And the one experience I have with sexual assault was my best friend, my guy best friend, and that was a very confusing experience in itself, because like, I'm supposed to be your best friend. So why I'm sharing all this right now is I just wanted to be open with you guys and say, like, it unfortunately happens to so many of us. And I really applaud anyone that's willing to come out and speak up for themselves or for others. Like the woman that I've been speaking to about this whole Kathy Shank, she's speaking up for others and her own family. So I want not for it to be normalized, but just for everyone to know, like, so many of us go through it, and don't feel ashamed, and just all we can do is try to get the help we need and count on other people around us that love us. And if anything's going on with any of you guys, I'm here for you. If you ever need anyone to talk to, or use this hotline, speak to professionals about it. Yeah. Do you have anything, not on personal stories, Keith, but anything?
No, I mean, look, I think the first thing is, I'll speak on behalf of the 70 or so people here that are watching to say that I'm, terribly sorry that you would ever have to go through anything like that. That's, obviously awful. And I think the biggest takeaway that I have from it is that it's everyone's experience is unique, but a lot of the similarities is that it's typically almost always someone who is in a position of trust, like it's not this random dude in the middle of the day on a trail randomly. I'm not saying that never happens. I'm just saying that, like, the likelihood, I don't think I would, I think I'm going to keep my story to myself. I think I'll say that, like, I think whenever you guys see like a article come out, like a Facebook post about, a teacher having a relationship with a student, and you see a bunch of older men in the comments saying, why is this person even being arrested? This should be a dream for this kid. I think that's kind of some of the lowest scum of the earth, people who say that, because you will never, if you're making that comment, that just tells me that you never truly understand how humiliating that could be. So that's just going to be my take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not to take away from anything that you just said, just, it's struck a little bit of a relatable thing with me. It's such a tired narrative, and that's not anything that should ever be rewarded or praised in any scenario, right? And we're in the, I'm not going to get political. We're in the apex of our society right now, where, like, this is all being uncovered, that this is, I mean, one time is too much, right? One time that this happens is too much. The degree that this is happening with people who are in power or have been in power is incomprehensible. But it could just be someone's relative down the road that you're staying the night at. It could be someone who you put your full faith trust into, and it's just a terrible thing to think about, that, like, I'm not a parent, but if I was, the amount of background checks I'd be doing, even for nothing else than to just to give me a little bit of peace of mind. But the problem with that is like there's a first time for everything, and there's a first time for everyone, and it's just it's a horrible thing. I think we just need to I think we need to listen more to people when they're talking about that kind of stuff. So that's it.
No, and I'm glad you went there actually about the people in positions of power right now, because that's the issue going on in Carroll County. I believe the issue in Carroll County is that they have a good old boys club going on there for many decades now, and I believe that a lot of people in positions of power within the county have really bad fucking side hobbies, and they use their position in the county, whether it be firefighter, police officer, DHS, whatever it is. They use that to get away with this shit, allegedly, maybe, possibly. And what's really fucking insidious is when you see other people in the county covering up, not for themselves even, but a third party covering up for another person in the county because of your alliance to them, or that thin blue line, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's I never in my life would have expected to see women covering up for child molestation. And it happens all the time. Happens all the time. It's just horrifying. Anyway, before we get into more of that, again, please, guys, bear with me. I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible. Please, if anyone needs help, please call that number up in the corner of the screen, 1-800-656-HOPE. I love you guys in chat, by the way. I love how vulnerable you guys are being right now. You guys are sharing your own stories. I'm not highlighting them out of sensitivity. But I just want to thank you guys for also being so open and vulnerable tonight about your own personal experiences, because it's so important that we just support each other. So thanks, and I love y'all.
And I just want to add just two quick things before we dive into the rest. Just some things that were on my mind when we were talking about this. Statistically, how much of this abuse comes from specifically family or children homicide, how much that is tied to someone in the family. And I think cranks have gotten a little bit of a criticism for maybe not questioning the family enough. I couldn't disagree with that more. I think you should go to our Twitters, type in some keywords in our profiles, and you'll see that we've been questioning a lot of the actions of the family around what happened on this day 9 years ago, right? Or what happened tomorrow 9 years ago. And I think, the other thing to keep in mind, obviously we're here, we don't feel that Richard Allen was the person to commit this crime. And I think, I don't want to speak for you, Spugs, but I think we both can agree that multiple people committed this crime, right?
Correct.
And this is not a pass for them. This is not a get out of jail free card, but the likelihood that the people who committed this crime were also severely physically, if not sexually abused by someone in their life, and especially when they were a child, that likelihood is extremely high too. And some of the people that we feel may be involved, there's a report on the history of their abuse, and some claims that have been made that if you go and read that Odin report, that 12-page report, I recommend you don't eat before you read that. because there's some stuff in there that is just really bad. And I'm not, again, this isn't an excuse for anyone's actions. It's just the reality of things. And I think the more that we talk about it, maybe the better society will have to deal with it.
Beautifully said. All right. Here we go.
But just 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Did any of this come up in the trial, the fact that it took so long for investigators to track down a suspect?
It finally did. And Kathy Shank is her name. She's lived in Delphi her whole life. She was a volunteer. They're moving offices. She looks through files and sees that and says, wait a minute, there's no Allen Drive. There's a Whiteman Drive. Looks at that tip, hands it to police. They go to his house. They connect him to that by saying, look, this is on Libby's phone. It looks like this guy. They interview him. So if it wasn't for Kathy Shank, who's been in the courtroom every day, just the sweetest lady, I think she's the one, obviously, that connected him to the crime, meaning they could investigate him. Otherwise, I don't think he would have been arrested. He blends in, hiding in plain sight, as the authorities said.
Well, I know this is a case that this town of Delphi is watching very closely, as is the country. Susan Hendricks, thank you for being there. Appreciate it.
Obviously, in the trial, I heard your testimony and the passion and the time, and I hear everybody else talking about the time, and even you being so humble of this is a team effort, you know?
Absolutely.
What was it like for you to be a part of this? I mean, obviously, you talked about it in trial, about how you came back and you wanted to volunteer. Why was that so important?
I had worked with law enforcement my entire adult career for 40 years through Department of Child Services, through Child Protection. And I knew several of the law enforcement officers, the prosecutor at the time, Rob Ives, and when I learned of this, I contacted Rob and said I'd like to help.
And that is exactly what you did. I mean, so much. Your role, obviously, we know from your testimony, helping file and organize and do all the things that need to be done in order for an investigation to kind of stay organized, if you will, the organizational side of things. When you were moving offices and you opened up that drawer and you came across this box, what went through your mind? And where, obviously we know where it ended, but what went through your mind?
When I found that, I realized that I had not heard of this person, and I went to the file drawer and found the actual file for Richard Allen Whiteman at that time, as it had been written. And I read the report that Dan Doolin had made after he had spoken with him. And I, as being an investigator, I had looked at some of the statements from the girls that said they had seen a person out at the bridge. And basically, I put the two and two together, took it to Tony, and we went from there.
Outside of this, you're a member of this community for so long.
Absolutely, my entire life, yes.
What does it mean to you to be able to see all of this come to where we are today? One, misfiled report, if you will, leads to all these years of work being able to pile together. We talk a lot about all the evidence just was able to stack up. And then the final pieces of, this is the guy. What is it like for you to see not only the guilty verdict on that day last month, but today to hear the sentence of 130 years?
The justice has been served. I mean, there was an amazing team that worked on this. I mean, Jerry and all of the state police and all the other agencies, and I have such high regard. And I guess what I can best say is I got back a lot more than I ever gave.
Obviously, you hear all these people talking about you, every person calling you out, thanking you.
It's very humbling, very humbling. I did it because I like to serve. I like to help people, and that's what I did.
And right place, right time, right?
I guess I basically call it divine intervention.
Yeah, you were just there, open that drawer, you just so happened to be the person. Finally, last thing. Obviously, it went so long, so many people. 8 years almost that you're, this community, like, please, we have all these things. We have video evidence of this suspect, and we still don't have the person. What was that like for you to be able to see law enforcement and investigators kind of finish putting that puzzle together after waiting for so long?
It was amazing. And it was, and I think I told Jerry it was a well-oiled machine. I couldn't believe I had worked up to the arrest in my former profession, but I had never seen this, and it was amazing what they did. And they just went into action and did what needed to be done, and here we are today.
Oh, here we are today. Here we are indeed, Kathy Shank. Here we motherfucking are.
I have a thought,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna. It's pretty much entirely what the chat's saying. I would give just about anything for Sergio to take a look at this, because I think when you hear him talk about deception indicators, there were a lot of times where Kathy, when she was asked a question, she would say justice was served and direct. And she would have, so her recall, she would kind of, look to the right a little bit. But then when she was asked pertinent questions about how she found the tip, it was like she was talking. She just wished the interviewer wasn't there. And I think that was Holman to the left of her in his Chicago Mafia purple fucking gray suit. He actually, when those uncomfortable answers were given, you can kind of see him even like inch close to her. And it's just those little things, but like the eyes closed, and then her, like, kind of when she like shook her head a little bit, it was like she was saying, don't ask me this question. No. And it's just, again, speculation. I would love for Sergio to take a look at this though, because that would be hella interesting.
That's a genius idea. A genius idea, actually. Anyone that speaks to Sergio, Amy, if you're in the house, please God. All right, guys.
Classic overthinker saying eyes wide shut. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Eye blocking is huge. Yep.
Okay, guys. This is coming from an anonymous source that I cannot give any details on. They came to me because they were inquiring about Chris Shank's relation to Kathy Shank. Okay. In talking to them, they told me information about Kathy. Okay. So hey, I graduated from Delphi and I'm not going to say when. There were several situations that she is Kathy Shank, was involved with that she covered up. One involved a police officer named Jake. He was convicted of SA of his daughter. He would use his daughter to bring young girls from her class home. This went on for years. She didn't help the kids, just covered up for the cop until the daughter was finally taken to Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, so different county, to the hospital and reported it when she was a bit older. Kathy Shank visited the parents of the other victims and actively and aggressively convinced them not to pursue charges. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
You blocked Bree?
I see her in chat.
Okay. So when I got this, obviously I was like intrigued curious how to like corroborate it. Sorry guys, one sec. She went on, there are other horror stories I saw personally too. One was that was horribly abused, SA, torture, held in a room for over a year. He was in my class. The abuser was she being Kathy Shank, refused to help him in any way. And oh yes, she was the CPS caseworker at the time and the only one in the county. Hold on, I'm just looking for my next thing.
You're good. To reiterate, this is a source who knows her personally, has lived in the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the area,
right?
Because remember, you could live in Indianapolis and say you're from Delphi. Sarah Carbaugh said she was as local as you get, and then she said she lived in the countryside. So we're just, again, everyone's making shit up. We can say I live in Delphi and I'm out here in Cincinnati.
Right. Okay. So, okay, now over here.
I'm gonna look at Brian. I don't know what happened. I'll get it.
All right. We continued further conversation, not on Twitter. So, in a personal conversation, she said his daughter's name is Ashley. He is Jake Clear, the officer who was convicted of essaying his daughter, but was actively harming other children, and it was covered up, allegedly. Okay, so his daughter's name is Ashley. She ended up having a mental breakdown and was not well. I said, God, this county has been a criminal haven for decades, because it fucking has. Said she, excuse me. They said, I know Jake did jail time for the essay on Ashley, but Kathy convinced my parents to not speak on it and to not press charges. I remember she came out several times. So someone in their family was a victim, and Kathy actively pressured them, the parents, to also not speak on this separate situation, as well as this Jake Clear guy. So with this very little information that I had, I started to try to like figure out if I could find any record of this guy.
Yeah.
And to corroborate it, right? Because I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, here's the story.
Right. So far we're at the point Jake is a cop, essayed this girl, and then Kathy got involved and told the parents to.
Well, there was two separate incidents. There's an incident with the source's family that the source's parents were told, yeah.
And it went away, right? And then the other one was his daughter.
Right.
Okay,
so.
Just listen, if I can follow, then Chad can follow. That's why I was like, if I'm gets it, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, because like, remember, I'm like very flustered right
Yeah,
now.
it's a lot. Okay,
here we go. Hold on. Wrong thing. There we go. Wait, that's not it. Here we go. Okay. Ashley had numerous attempts to unalive herself. She lived in abject terror because Jake threatened the girls and their families with police retaliation. I have no idea if other police knew what he was doing or if it was just his threats to keep the girls controlled. Also, I can't remember if he was a sheriff deputy or a Delphi cop. Okay, and then she goes on to tell me Jake Clear, the spelling might be different. So that's from there when I started investigating who this guy was. Entire screen, there we go. God, so many weirdos in this film.
It's insane.
It's insane. So I was able to find a mention of him on, no, well, actually what I did is I started building his family tree on Ancestry.com with the information I knew. With that name, I had begun Googling him and like Indiana and trying to just like link it to anything. Found the name I thought I was looking for, put the full name in my Ancestry.com and like the daughter, and then was looking on Facebooks and was pretty sure I had found his Facebook and his wife's Facebook. So cross-reference those names on Ancestry.com to like start building a tree and shit and getting as much information about him that way as I could. Let's see
Oh, Jesus.
here.
Than just seeing the little thumbnail pop up in the right-hand side.
Oh. Damn. Okay, hold on, guys. So anyway, I ended up being able to verify that he was a cop thanks to good old fucking newspapersarchive.com. So I'm trying to baby step you guys into this, just show you like how I corroborated her story, okay? So this was just an article I found down here. Where is it? Oh, you guys are going to see some very familiar names here. Dayton Road, north of Division Line Road, a deer ran into the path of a 1985 Buick operated by Lillian Stauffer, 58 Delphi, investigated by Deputy Dennis Randall. Crazy. So anyway, further down here, I was able to find this little section here. Struck a deer, investigated by Camden Marshal Charles W. Randall, assisted by Reserve Deputy Jake Clear. Okay, so that was my first one. And then I was also able to find this one down here, another reference to him being a deputy. The 1991 auto registered to Leah A. Jeans and Robert D. Eaton of Frankfurt was damaged, $5,000 to $10,000. The Daywell residence, $2,500 to $5,000. Deputy John M. Chapman investigated. Deputies Jake Clear and J. D. Cree assisted. You guys might recognize some of those names. I was like, I knew I recognized J.D. Cree, and got confirmed that he was the coroner. So he went from deputy to coroner.
It's the one they picked Core over, right?
Yeah.
How much you want to bet that that attempted home invasion at the top that Tobe investigated went nowhere?
Yep. Okay. So here's where I found more information about them. It says here, Rebecca A. Wood and Gerald Jake E. Clear exchanged wedding vows on March 24th at 2:30 p.m. in the home of Landon and Shirley Minix of Hamlet. She is the daughter of the late David and Marilyn Wood. He is the son of Gerald Clear of Rockfield and Shirley Minix of Hamlet. The bride was given away in marriage by her mother at the private double ring ceremony. Performing the duties of best man was John Clear. Witnesses included Landon and Shirley Minx and Fran Bondurant. The bride is a 1978 graduate from Delphi High School. She is a homemaker. The groom is a 1981 graduate of Delphi High School and is a truck driver. So after being he was a truck driver, and what a reserve deputy is basically, you know how they have volunteer firefighters out there? It's a volunteer police officer. So they had volunteer firefighters and they also had volunteer police officers. So Jake E. Clear in question here was a volunteer police officer.
Yeah, they're still deputized.
They get training and everything.
Right. It's kind of like the old posse days, but a little bit more advanced. You know who they didn't do that for?
Who? Before
giving her access to literally every fucking thing there was to look at with this case? Kathy.
You're so clever. So fucking clever. All right. Clever. Okay. So I did also find out through newspaperarchive.com that Jake and his brother Tom both coached Little League for small, like softball for small little girls. That was horrifying. I found 2 different instances, 2 different teams where both of the brothers were the coaches. They were younger. They would have been like, this was in 1980, 81. So they would have been in 93. He was like 29. So 18-ish, 18, 19. Just to be clear. And that's not to say they did anything, who knows. I just wanted to say that I found that quite disturbing. So how do I put this? Oh yeah, I know how.
Which Becky is that?
Becky?
Wishing him a happy birthday.
Okay, so Becky Clear is his wife.
Oh, okay.
Her maiden name is Wood. So that's his current wife. Now, through looking into him and everything, I discovered that Jake Clear was married very young to his first wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that is who he had his daughter with, Ashley, and then a son with, John.
Okay.
They got divorced. I can't recall when, but he married this new woman around 96-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Cindy. Yes. You
Indy
guys
Cindy
are gonna
is,
go ahead.
I was saying Indy Cindy saying would we need to talk spugs.
Yeah. You're gonna see a lot of familiar names. Okay, what was I looking for now? Okay. Bear with me, guys. I've got so many pictures. Okay, through this, I also was able to look into the daughter. Okay. I found out, I found her, what her current age would be, her new last name. I'm not going to use her last name. You guys are going to figure that out on your own. A lot of people in this chat are going to know exactly who this is. But through my investigation of this gentleman and his family, it came to light that she is the Ashley that was the drug addicted girlfriend of Ron Logan at the time of the murders. So that was I blew my mind.
Okay.
Blew my mind.
So Ash, I just want to, again, I'm going to try and understand this and follow this. Ashley was the daughter of Jake Clear, who was a volunteer deputy who essayed her, allegedly, right? This is what we're being told. And that was, Ashley was the girlfriend of Ron Logan. Jake's alleged essay of a separate girl was covered up or allegedly assisted to cover up by Kathy Shank, who's her and her family have a blood oath to one Ron Logan. That's where we're going. That's where we're at.
Correct.
Okay. Well,
thank you for putting that together, because I certainly wouldn't have been able to.
well, and then, considering you could stand on 300 North and spit into downtown Delphi, that small. But when we're looking at something like this, I don't know if we're allowed to believe in coincidences anymore.
Correct. And yeah, I want to reiterate that, hold on. This woman has no idea I'm even talking about this right now. Yeah, I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible. She has no idea I'm even talking about this. That woman is nothing but I don't even want to say victim, but a survivor of a lot of trauma. A lot. I can't even imagine what she has gone through. And I think it's just important to reiterate with Ron Logan, he literally went after women like that who were vulnerable, who were suffering, who had gone through this shit, who were, addicted to drugs because they were trying to numb the whatever was going on in their lives. And that is the type of women, allegedly, that he would supply with more money for drugs or drugs. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
The younger, the better, by the way. Ron Logan, she's around my age. So back then,
early 20s.
Early 20s. And he's what, 70 at that point? That's fucking disgusting.
Well, another point is...
You don't have to say allegedly he's dead. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Oops.
All these people know each other through different connections, right? I mean, The claim that's being alleged is that Kathy's covering up for a guy who had a daughter who was in a relationship with Ron Logan, yet all of them walking into a CVS fucking weekly with a picture of Bridge Guy on the door at the CVS didn't walk back to the pharmacy and go, that's the guy. Not a single one of them. And then, I mean, we're not even talking about the other connections to, I mean, are the Yoders that run the Hoosier Harvest store now related to Drew? I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on about the connections, right? And everyone who knows everyone who whatever. But, and I'm not the best at that. There's a lot of people out there that have like really, really good like graphs that tie everyone together. But it's just, again, something to think about.
I went full torch. I don't even know what you want to call it. I was a complete chaos fucking agent, and not a chaos agent. I just decided I'm gonna light shit on fire and fucking burn everything down. I went on Carroll County happenings and shit, and I pretty much said, if you have any experience with a former possible officer, Jake Clear, and would like to speak to any or willing to speak to me, reach out to me, yada, yada, yada. I got some interesting responses to that shit. One guy was like, what are you doing? You're not from our town. What are you coming in or you're not from here? And I was like, chill, pedo protector. Chill.
Yeah, I think you got, did they muted you or you got shadow banned?
Oh no, that was a different time. I just went off on Carroll County comment. That's a side one. Okay, so someone did reach out to me, not going to give any of their identifying information. They said, hello there. I was wondering what you are wanting to learn. I'm a middle-aged woman now, but when I knew him, I was not.
That's a fucking ominous cold open, I'll say.
Yeah.
And this was after you posted on the page, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I said something to her in a voice memo. They said I was able to hear the audio. I feel very odd about it because I didn't want to identify the age. At the time, I viewed things as consensual. It wasn't until I was older that I realized I was unable to consent because I didn't actually understand anything. I have realized over the years I was taken advantage of. I've never told anyone before. It just seems so odd to discuss it because I am almost X amount of years. I also know that his daughter was a completely different situation, so it makes me feel bad because she was so young. I am old enough to know better, which is horrible that they felt that way.
Yeah.
Horrible. Is Kevin Gaskell who runs that? When I click on the post on Carroll County comment that was talking about Abby and Libby, I can still see my comment, but I'm not sure if other people can.
So Spooky's asking, did Kevin Gaskell ban you? I had no idea who that is.
Yeah. I have no idea who that is.
That message that you got is so... I think if you were to talk to, 100 victims, 90 of them would probably have that kind of school of thought, right? That they did. And that's the sad thing is you're a lot of the times it's a person, who holds power over another person and that, you're in a position of trust and you feel like, well, I'm agreeing to it. And it's just, I know it's really heavy to talk about, but it's just Jesus, it's, there's a reason why there's statutes because it's the wrong thing to do,
Right. No, exactly. So
yeah, of course they're so Critical Figure said your comments are gone on the last Abby and Libby post. Of course they're gone.
Of
Of
course.
course they're gone.
Of course they are. Why would they want to be held accountable? Oh, that's coming up, actually. That's coming up. So we've got two different people confirming to me that this individual was up to really horrible behaviors. I continued to look into him, and we found, by the way, amazing people helped me find so much of this information out. And I don't know if they want me to call them out or not necessarily, but multiple people found information for me, and I love you guys for it. This was not all my own digging and research. Our community is so, I love you guys. Just I love you guys. So just had to say that.
Yeah, that's why cranks need to be there for trial number 2.
Amen.
Need a war room with All Eyes, T, Sleuthy, DB, you, Angelou. I could name a bunch of people, but man, what an army that would be. Right.
Okay. So here are some pictures of the gentleman in question. All right, the man of the hour. This is Jake Clear.
Can I guess which one he is?
Yes.
Is it the one that looks like he could be fucking Bridge Guy? Is it? Am I wrong? Ay.
Holy shit!
Check that man's closet for a blue Carhartt.
I'm done. Here's this one. Lovely couple.
Yes.
Lovely couple. Look, his shirt's hella it's his belly is hiking some of it up, but he's wearing a long ass shirt.
A lot of insulin resistance. Listen, I got hit by a car and can work out for 4 months, and I am feeling like I look like that. I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. Life catches up.
Spooky. Spooky said, why he's standing like that?
Why is he standing like that? My man's standing on business. My man said, you don't like this picture? Well, let me point you to one Kathy Shank who will make sure you like it.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Okay, so this is the wife. And
wife.
I want to remind everyone that the wife, his current wife of many years, is not the mother of the victim.
Becky Clear, formerly Wood.
Okay? Not the mother of the victim. Okay, so she put on here, someone found that I found interesting. Thanks to everyone who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. I still didn't get one from my son. Still don't know why. It's been 3 years, but life goes on. So thanks again. I loved each one and all of you. So this is a second reference they found to this woman saying that the son had cut them off in the last few years, which I just want to include as further proof to the fuckery that must be going on. Because, if what happened originally didn't do that for the son so many years prior, one can only imagine what the fuck was going on.
I'm sorry. I was just heavily distracted by the Midwest boomer mom narcissist posting that was going on right there. that is any of you who have had a narcissist Midwest mom, they immediately go to Facebook and go, well, everything about my day was great except for my shitty kids. It's perfect. It's
Wait.
perfect.
Do you think they wear the same shirts? Do you think they just wear each other's shirts?
Stop. I'm not body shaming.
I'm
not
not
doing it.
body shaming. I'm just saying they could wear the same shirt.
Yeah, I just, they could. All right. I got like, DB's in the comments, like talking about your cleavage while we're looking at pictures of these girls and I'm trying not to laugh at that.
Wait, is he?
And then it was earlier. It was early, and then like that popped up, and we're talking about this is heavy, serious stuff, and there's like so many little things that are getting in it. You ever been like in a serious dude? I laughed at my friend's funeral, and it was so funny because like his whole like family was there and no one understood. No one but him would understand why I was laughing, And I feel like that's like the same moment now that we're in, which was like, I'm trying not to laugh at this shit because it's serious. Yeah. They just go to Costco like once a year and just dump everything into a fucking cart and then.
Woo! We need comic relief.
That was actually, that was a good break. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're still. Whew. Oh, okay. So Bruce Clear is part of the White County Council. Bruce is his uncle, Jake's uncle. So he's involved in the politics of it all. This is Bruce again. Okay, so Bruce is a retired colonel of the Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement, and his wife is retired from White Superior Court and was a court reporter. Okay. I'm just showing you guys more of like the Carroll County ties that this guy had. Also here, and someone classic, I believe, found this, and looking up the wife, formerly Rebecca Wood, but now Rebecca Clear. This was in memoriam of, I believe, her father. This is her father's obituary, okay? Look where it says services were. Services were today at Florida Funeral Home with Reverend Dr. Elwood Smith officiating. Burial with American Legion rights was in Masonic Cemetery. Nah, mother.
My God.
Goddamn Masons.
That's more focused on him coming out of white supremacy court.
Here's another fun fact. This is the obituary for Jake Clear's father. His sister, Julie Clear, married Mr. Thomas Mears. So that's fun.
How are these people not popping kids out that have like third arms by now? like what? Like, I'm not trying to be mean if you're from there, but
No,
come on. Come on.
Not trying to be mean, but for real. White County is every bit as bad as Carroll County is, says Skinny.
Yeah, Skitty said Holman's from White County too.
No way.
Sounds like it.
No way.
Probably a lot of pregnant teens out there.
Oh my God. Okay. Going back to this, what I found really odd too was I was trying to find, oh, that's what I need. Keith, distract the masses. I need to find something.
You're all mine, chat. I did this when he walked away last time, by the way. I was like, you're all mine. I don't know if you saw.
No.
Okay, so we'll recap real quick. We have a man by the name of Jake Clear, who is a volunteer deputy, and he was he had a daughter that is alleged that he essayed her alongside another girl that's not her daughter. His daughter, however, was Ron Logan's girlfriend. For those of you who don't know who Ron Logan is, Ron Logan was the property owner where Abby and Libby were found on February 14th, tomorrow, 9 years ago. The girl that he SA'd, apparently her parents were intimidated by him, and one Kathy Shank, it is alleged, helped to make sure that went away. And the entire point of this is, if you have read Kathy Shank's testimony alongside the interview earlier today that Spokes played, which was just Kathy flat out lying 24/7. She's very good at covering things up and making things go away. Also good at finding things. It's just like a, in and out kind of deal. So that's where we're at.
And for funsies, I mean, come on.
Can you go back to him?
Huh?
Can you go back to him? Yeah. But again, okay, so here's my thing. Like, we're not saying he is the one, right? However,
no, I'm not saying
the argument is that this could be anybody, because every fucking boomer man in Indiana dresses like this. Like whoever was on that bridge, whoever it was, they knew that by wearing what they were wearing, they were going to be damn near indistinguishable from anyone else in and around that town within a 1,000-mile fucking radius that fit their body type description, their race, gender, all that. And that's why is he standing like he's at the edge of mom's bed, like waking her up because he threw up? Like, what is that?
Oh, you guys want to know how tall?
My man's about to transform into a Super Saiyan right there. Like, he's getting ready.
I'll tell you guys how.
How tall? Great question.
Oh, he is. Uno momento, because before I got distracted, that's actually exactly what I was looking for.
Sorry, you told me to entertain the masses, and I popped off.
You got entertaining me, and shit, you're just too good at your job. Ah. Okay, hold on.
Some of you are so funny.
You have to be funny to be my friend.
Yeah.
For real. All of y'all are funny. Everyone in this chat. Even if I don't know you and you're just here, I know you're funny. Because I just fuck with the funny people.
Yeah, Jalil said every Indiana man gets clothes from the same two stores, Walmart and fucking Rural King. And I'm inclined to believe that the Duluths are popping up. The Duluths are when you get your bonus. That you just go shoplift in Carhartt. They do that in a lot of those towns. There's a lot of Carhartt in Kokomo. When I was in Kokomo, it's like all I saw.
Kokomo is horrible.
What does he say in True Detective? Like a memory of a town? Someone's faded memory of a town. That's what Kokomo is. Great people there. Great people. They know how to pour a beer. But holy cow.
All right, back to the douche in charge in large. So continuing to try to corroborate who this guy is and corroborate the information that the first woman gave me. I reached out on Twitter, of course, and follow me on my Twitter. It's Shboogies, obviously, SHBOOGIES, because I be running my mouth about things like this. So I asked if people could give me any and all information they find about this individual and his name and all that fun stuff. And All Eyes did what All Eyes does. You know, you be knowing All Eyes. Sorry, just trying to find the tab. Here it is. Bingo, bango, bongo. Gerald Junior Clear had All Eyes found this under the North Carolina sex registry offender list. He was not in Indiana's registry. Do you know why?
Indiana doesn't have a registry. I don't know. I'm kidding.
Because after 10 years, they let you remove yourself if you have reoffended.
Great rehabilitation they have there in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great rehabilitation.
The only thing I could find when searching him on the general Carroll County Comet was a small article clip saying that he had been successfully removed from the registry, some shit like that, the sex offender registry.
They like announced that in the paper.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy's cool. You can let your kids back around him. Like, he's clear.
Literally.
We gave him a lobotomy. Like, what the fuck?
I never thought about it that way. Oh, God. Okay, so now he's registered in North Carolina because they live in North Carolina. And I'm not doxing because motherfuckers on the registry. Like, can't dox the registry.
Spooky just said covered. They covered his report. He's cleared. I'll bet you a shank who went in there and cleared him.
The chat is wild in the night.
Yeah, we're having
a goddamn.
It's a good fucking Friday. I'm not saying anything.
Help. All right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So this is interesting because, well, also here's his height, ladies and gentlemen. He's 5'8". 5'8". 5'8". He hits the FBI minimum. The absolute minimum. He is 225 pounds, though. He a big boy. Him a happy looking fella. He is rather heavy for 5'8", though. Yeah, that's quite the BMI. So, to be fair. So down here, it said his original offense date was 9/8/1990, and he was convicted of this in 1993. He got 6 years of probation, and he was charged with child molestation and incest. Again, unfortunately, the victim survivor was his daughter. They were 8 and he was 27 at the time of the crime. He did actually do like 3 years in jail for this. it wasn't just, you know, like a slap on the wrist. Thankfully. Right? But that being said, when we go back to my source's original messages, he was allegedly doing this to the daughter's friends. And the other source that came to me to corroborate that he was up to this behavior, she was not of the 7-8-year-old age. I'll just say that, okay? She was, I'll say she was a teenager. So he did not care or have any sort of, he was just like an equal opportunity abuser, allegedly. A very, very, very bad man. Okay, now. Go.
Sorry, my emotional support animal's being fussy.
No problem. So the offense, this part is interesting. The offense date was 1990, release date 1996, and it says that you have to be registered to 10 years or so, yet he has continued to have to register himself, but it lists no violations. So I'm curious if there was another offense that is just out there that we're unaware of. I'm thinking that's likely, because technically he wouldn't have to still be on there.
Does it tell you like what county he has to register through? Because we could call it. I could probably pull docs from the court, depending on.
Yeah,
I mean, redacted. Hopefully, Jesus, but.
Yeah. Oh, fucking county. By the way, Carolyn, just more identifying proof. Carroll, Indiana, out of Indiana. Okay. All this person's information lines up. Oh, did you see he was 5'8"?
Yeah, fitting the wonderful FBI profile.
Indeed.
You know, I get a lot of people giving me a hard time for thinking that Spinner Rod Abrams was the guy. So maybe we'll lean a little bit in towards Mr. Clear here.
It's interesting. So it said that he registered in 2023. Minimum registration period is 10 years. The offense date was in 1990. That's odd, right? Or maybe they're just fucking way better upstanding people in North Carolina and they keep your ass on that shit where you should be.
Yeah, I know in Michigan it's for life. Like I think you're on, I don't know, I've never had to go through it, but I think you're on like a 5 to 10 year like re-up where you have to like, I mean, you have to update your information when you move, like wherever you go. But like, right. I think like an actual picture, depending on, so Michigan, the statute's criminal sexual conduct. I don't know. I'd probably have to look that up again.
I gotcha.
But I'm sure North Carolina's like similar.
Right. Okay.
Also, the fact that Indiana would even allow him to move is scary, or like not update that. Like that's some Gacy shit, you know, like
Hella.
going to Iowa and doing what he did, and then just I'll go start over again in Chicago.
Sorry, I'm trying to find something.
Skin, you said, I think the registry should follow you, but not saying your previous residences. It causes a list to get too diluted, and that's when things fall through cracks. Yeah, so like you're saying, like if you move, the registry shouldn't show you still as like an active resident of that area, right? Is that what you're saying? Because I agree with that.
Sorry, guys, I'm having a hard time finding what I'm looking for.
It's all right. I'm still processing that picture you got up right now. Like it's like, yeah, national list wouldn't hurt either. Classic overthinker. I agree.
Okay, if I do this, goes where? Desktop.
Post Pokemon said, have you heard of Buried? It's a pod by a guy whose dad was one of Casey's lawyers. Do you know about it?
I can't.
You know, whoever that guy is, he's got to do a lot better marketing because I've never heard of that.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You guys are like
on it.
I think I'm turning some of you into monsters with the sarcasm.
All right, guys. So random connections all over the place, this family. But I was still trying to, I had corroborated that he was in fact working for the county. Not only was he working for the county, his uncle had been working with ISP for many, many years. And he had other various family members that were participating in other sections of the county. Okay. So this guy had some stature within the county and certainly falls within that thin blue line or whatever the fuck they call it. Okay. Today, someone who was so amazing and did all of the work to get the case files on what happened to the daughter. I haven't thoroughly gone through them. This person was able to reach out to someone who literally took the time to get every single case file they had on this situation way back in 1990. So grateful. If you want me to shout you out, I will. And there's some really sick shit in there, and I'll save it for if there's anything in there that we ever need to discuss on this dude going forward. I have to be very careful and really go through it, and be careful to redact information, because I am not here to hurt anyone or any victim. So I did find the original officer's report, however, and I was able to crop and select a section that gave enough important information. Okay. I am an Indiana State Police detective. On May 9th, 1992, at approximately 9 a.m., a complaint of child molesting was made to the Carroll County Welfare Department. I was contacted and met with Kathy Shank, welfare caseworker, at the Carroll County Welfare Department at approximately 4 p.m. Also present were the victim, Ashley. Okay? This confirms that Kathy Shank was 100% the caseworker on Ashley's case. So, that's all the fucking proof I need to feel comfortable enough to say that I think allegedly, possibly, Kathy Shank has been covering up for workers in the county for horrific crimes, as far as even sexual child assaults, if they were working for the county. She actively, if we're to believe our source, which I fucking do, actively pressuring parents to not report when their children came to them, to also report this officer. And she actively, allegedly, persistently silenced other victims. This is just the first one I can corroborate. I am begging, like, anyone who has a story to tell, by all means, I'd love you to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat. I'm not going to ever give anyone's information, ever. But I am so fed up with Kathy Shank is the hero. Kathy Shank deserves all the reward money. Kathy Shank did this. Oh, the poor little volunteer grandma. No, the volunteer grandma was fucking allegedly, possibly set up to be there from day fucking one. Carefully fucking selected to be at that tip line. If you ask me, maybe. Because this woman has a track record of covering up for Carroll County law enforcement going back fucking decades.
Yeah. You know, it's very difficult for me to believe that this is the same Kathy Shank who, in her own words, worked with law enforcement quite extensively on the Delphi case. She knew Robert Ives very well. She called him Rob. You know, she was a receptionist in March of 2017 at the old RAINN building, and quickly got promoted. Very quickly got promoted. You know, started bringing. You know, it's kind of fucked up that we have this in a police report. And yet she was tasked with bringing people who had tips to detectives in that building, right? They didn't do a background check on her. They just figured because she had been working for CPS, been working with law enforcement for as long as she did, that she was, hey, like, Liggett was like, yeah, she's cool, you know? I can't believe it's the same Kathy that initially when she started filing things, she was told not to read the reports. And then miraculously, very quickly, you know, she was asked to enter narrative summaries for them like that overnight. The same Kathy Shank, who is when she was asked to describe how Unified Command became such a cohesive unit when they moved to the new building, that was objected to and sustained. And she didn't have to explain what she meant by that. A lot with even what she was testifying to, you know, and her story doesn't line up with Holman's. Holman said she wasn't even close to being hired on in March of 17. And to, you know, to randomly call someone up and say, I want to volunteer and help out, and to be given that level of access, and then to have, you know, file cabinets. I think what she said, 5 full file cabinets of tips or reports. Yet she had a very specific box in her desk that conveniently had the Rick Allen Whiteman lead sheet in it. This is a lady who's good at generally making things go away that we're being told right by people. Very odd to me.
But she printed that tip in 2019, did she not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna, I don't know. They go back and print things. You know, it's just, I just, there's so much there to how she's even testifying to handling this case. Yeah, and that, I mean, that is what the tip says. Like, I'm not like, but for her to insert herself that way, with the resume that she has. And then I thought that that interview of hers that you played was brilliant, because the way she was begging to get out of that conversation, you know.
And she was setting herself up perfectly for the shit I had tonight. As I was watching that, I was like, oh, you bitch, just keep digging your fucking grave.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think we're fucking surprising that many people. This is the woman who's got a daughter on Twitter talking about just wild racist shit. Just wild racist shit. Right?
Well, and let's not even stop there. The romance novelizations we're seeing blow me away as far as why anyone would think that would be an okay. Listen, I've written a lot of stuff. Like, I wanted to write books. You know, I had this idea like Shadow the Bridge, something like that. And then like you look at it and you read it, maybe have like a peer look at it, you know, and then you just come to the decision that maybe that's not a good thing to publish. Maybe that's not a good fucking idea, right? Honor Bound by Ron Logan. Thank you, Skeptic Curiosity. Yeah, absolutely. Brian is 100% right. I've been saying this too. The biggest issue is that they didn't have a black man to blame. They were so pissed that Rick was white.
Oh, I know. So, so here's the thing. We have early video. I forgot to like save it. There's like early video of bleach blonde Kathy Shank walking up, being filmed, reporting for duty in 2017 in March. As soon as they opened that goddamn tip line, she was there reporting for duty. I just want to help. You want to help? Or are you the fucking town, the Carroll County honeypot, who's retired her honeypot, but now just gets to help them whenever they need it?
Yeah. And guess where else we saw that? We saw that with Sarah fucking Carbaugh, who got up there on the stand, and I think she was so eager to demonstrate Bridge Guy's gate because she volunteered it like 30 times, and Diener's like, dude, we practiced this. Like, I will prompt you for it. Don't get up and start walking like Bridge Guy yet. We'll get to that. But she literally said that she found out about the girls from a fucking Amber Alert that doesn't exist. Like, how many times are we going to talk about things that raise even more questions than before, right? And my whole thing with Kathy is the fact that she had a very specific set of files in a box in a desk drawer that conveniently, like, we're just going through and going, no, not that one. Brad Holder. Son is Logan Holder dating Amy. No, not that one. Patrick Westfall is Inlander. No, not that one. Rod Amersell Shields in the area. Possibly. Facebook picture of 2 dead girls in the woods. No. Oh, Rick Allen Whiteman was there. Dan Doolin, notorious liar. Hey, Tony, I got one for, like, what are we talking about?
It's almost like they had it waiting to use in case of emergency.
Ay, ay, ay.
So, there's also a million fucking other people in this county that we know are like directly related to fucking criminal or crimes and shit. Like, for example, Shane Evans, his brother, is doing 152 years for RAing his girlfriend's 14-year-old daughter since she was 7. That's Shane Evans' brother. What? And like, that is just like the tip of the iceberg. It goes like that continuously throughout this county. Someone is directly related to some kind of wild crime. Like, for example, the Florida 4. The fucking DHS fire marshal, Dennis Randall, his fucking brother was in prison for arson.
You know what else I find to be funny? We heard a lot about how Kathy volunteered to help out with Delphi. And in that same testimony, she tells us she's lived in Florida forever and that she's from Florida. We never heard about her volunteering for Florida.
Oh shit. Why are I just pulling out these bombs out of nowhere? I don't even expect them.
Andy, Brad, get me on cross.
Right. Yo.
I'm kidding. That would be terrible, but
no, that's a great fucking point. What was Kathy Shank doing for the Florida girls? Oh, I don't know. We can probably guess she's a fucking racist because her daughter sure is. And where do you fucking get that from?
They're blowed oath to racist Ron Logan. RIP, we're pouring. Boy, I got to do an upside down and down to hell for Ron instead of shooting one up there, you know.
And then, yeah, the McClellan crime family. Listen, guys, this is what I was talking about at the very fucking beginning of tonight's live. I firmly believe that these fuckers have like some sort of crimes fucking ring shit going on, right? And call me crazy. I don't care. But allegedly, maybe this is my theory. I think we're dealing with legacy families in the county and certain members of the families being involved in this and purposely putting themselves in a place of employment within the county, whether it be law enforcement, fire, whatever, where it's the good old boys club. That way they can continue to get away with whatever the fuck they're up to because they're always looking out for one another. No fucking wonder why nothing can get solved. If they're not covering up for the white supremacists that they're letting run amok all around, then they're covering up for themselves because they've got some fucking weird side child SA shit going on probably. Now, this will be for another show, but they just announced that this guy named Lee Brown is wanted for a warrant out of California for continuous child SA of a child under 9 years old. Okay? Lee Brown from Delphi, Indiana, Where's this motherfucker? Okay, this fucker, whatever the fuck weird shit this is going on for his band. Super cool, dude. Like, I'll show you guys the screenshots coming up, but essentially he's wanted for the child essay, warrant out of California. He's from Delphi, Indiana. Lo and behold, his father is an individual by the name of Ron Brown, who's related to Charles Brown, whose mother was Patrice Brown, who married a Carbaugh and then had William Carbaugh, who is Sarah Carbaugh's father. Now, this guy that's wanted for child SA, he's related to the Carbaughs, and he is confirmed to be a Vinlander. Okay, so that's all shit for another show. But now we're connecting this child SA shit to the Vinlanders. What the fuck is going on in this county? What the fuck is going on in this county?
Yep. I would love maybe one day for us to do a show talking about Judge Diener's civil decisions and how many of those have been overturned on appeal. Specifically, cases where child custody cases where the man is favored for some reason and has no otherworldly business having custody of their children, on top of denying the mother rightful custody of their kid. It's a little scary. And I mean, we have so many little things we could talk about that kind of contribute to how this became what it really is. It's just insane. The Vinlander ties are concerning. The blood oath to Ron Logan is concerning. The alleged cover-up of a sexual assault by a volunteer deputy is by a assistant to the deputy is concerning. There is so much that is going on in this town. Yikes. We haven't even really talked about Flora all too much. I mean, you've done like some lives on it, but like, you know, comparatively on X and, you know, the lives that I've done with you, like that, well, we haven't even scratched the surface of that. There's so much.
So much. So, yeah. So, this guy right now is wanted. If any of you are local in Indiana and you happen to see this dude, apparently he's dangerous and he's not to be like stopped. I have the warrant's out of California, but I have a feeling he would have ran to Indiana, to a county where they all fucking protect each other. So please be aware, this guy is wanted, but he is dangerous. His brother, another Brown, related to the Carbaughs, was just arrested for strangulation of his wife. Both confirmed to be Vinlanders. Both up to strangling wives, essaying children, and all tying back to this fucking county where they don't get in trouble for doing this shit, and that's why they keep doing it.
Yeah. This is the point of the live where I say maybe some of them are good people. Everyone kills me over. I'm kidding. But Jesus. By the way, a lot of comments are coming through about like this guy, the look on this guy's face, and I agree. Like that is scary in and of itself. But just fellas, some advice for you: smile in your pictures. Just smile in your pictures, because when your girl goes missing, they're gonna find a picture of you acting all tough, and Nancy Grace is gonna have your ass in a fucking paper bag. It's over for you. Smile in your pictures.
Oh God, you're funny. All right, guys. So tonight's show, I'm gonna keep looking into all those case files. Thank you to everyone who helped provide all that stuff for me. I love you guys so much. I'm gonna keep looking into shit. If anyone does want to talk to me about Kathy Shank and an experience you had with her while she was working for CPS, if you felt like she was a part of silencing you, by all means, please reach out. We do have to now all head over to Carrie's stream.
Yeah.
They are starting their anniversary for Abby and Libby. Gonna be amazing. Can't wait. So everyone, leave us, go there, and we'll keep talking about all this shit. And again, if anyone has and needs any help by any means, please call 1-800-656-HOPE or go online.rainn.org. I love you all so much. I'll see you over at Carrie's show.
Yep. And then after that, we'll see you in Valhalla.
And then we'll see you in Valhalla.